Hi, everyone. I'm Dan Abrams in for Dr. Drew. Chris Brown just walked out his front door after a day-long standoff with police. A woman says Brown pointed a gun at her in a violent rage early this morning. Here's what she told TMZ.
I saw a diamond cross necklace, and I touched it. And I said, oh, this one's pretty. Simply touched it, did not pick it up, didn't, take it, nothing like that.
Saying what, Bailey?
Oh, just saying, like, you're a whore, put it down, you don't touch that. Pulled out his gun, pointed at me, said, get the F out. And that was pretty much it. They tried getting me to sign a waiver afterwards, an NDA or whatever. I did not. I didn't sign anything.
And he pointed it right at you?
He did, yes.
And said, get out of here?
Yeah, get the F out of here.
And then ask her to sign an NDA. Yeah, that's a good idea. Officers surrounded Brown's home. He refused to come out. Somehow it became the police's fault. He posted this rant on Instagram.
I just wake up, all these helicopter choppers is around, police out there at the gate. Come on, my what the else do y'all want from me, bro? I stay out of the way, take care of my daughter, do work, and all this news y'all ain't doing nothing but giving me better publicity. Barricaded myself in my house. Have you seen my house? I'm gonna barricade myself in the palace. I'm not coming out. For what? I ain't did I ain't gonna do and it's always gonna be the police. Black Lives Matter. I don't care. Y'all gonna stop playing with me like I'm the villain out here, like I'm going crazy. I'm not. Good luck. When you get the warrant or whatever you need to do, you're gonna walk right up in here and you're gonna see nothing. You idiots. I'm tired of dealing with y'all. Y'all the worst gang in the world, the police. And I said it.
He sure did. Joining me tonight, Lonnie Coombs, attorney, Yodit Tewolde, attorney, Mike Dow, psychotherapist and host of the Dr. Mike Show on Hay House Radio, and Pat Lama, managing editor of Crime Watch Daily with Chris Hansen. All right, so Pat, your team interviewed this woman. Any reason to question her story?
You know, at this point, Dan, honestly, no. But also at this point, it's simply a case of the notorious celebrity and the beauty queen. You know the Hollywood stories like I do. There's been no arrest, nobody's been charged, and the cops are just going to have to filter and vet and figure out, and it's going to have a lot to do with witnesses as well. But essentially, she said she did nothing wrong. She has partied with him in the past. There were no issues in the past, and now we're just going to have to wait and see who is telling the truth. But
I want to understand the standoff part. So the police arrive at his house, right? And what? They want to question him? What do they want to do that he won't cooperate with?
Well, all they wanted to do was talk to him about her story. Perfectly legitimate. But he begins, never, of course, leaving any opportunity unchecked, begins this rant. He's not coming out. Come and get me, police. I didn't do anything wrong. And by the way, I was sleeping through this whole thing, and it's all about Black Lives Matter, and it's a whole racial thing. He refused. He said to them, get a search warrant, and they did. All right. And then he came out? Yeah. Well, okay, so Mark Garagos, our, friend. Yeah. It was called upon by Chris Brown to come. He went into the house first, and through this whole process, the police are taking everybody out essentially one by one. He's still refusing to come out. After 12, he starts doing the rants, and then ultimately he did come out. And the last we've heard, now this is at least, I'm going about 20 minutes back, don't know what's happened in the last 20 minutes, no arrest, but he was quietly and peacefully speaking with police about the matter. All right.
Yodit, I have zero sympathy for Chris Brown. I mean, none. And I almost don't presume him innocent because
Shame on you.
And I'll admit it. I mean, I hear that Chris Brown is involved in something, and, look, I'm not a juror on a case, so I can presume whatever I want. And I presume that the person is probably telling the truth. I mean, why does he have to make everything so difficult?
Look, we all know Chris Brown has had a reputation that he's created himself. He's had several run-ins with the law. We know that. But you also have to understand that you have an individual who is automatically labeled or targeted as public enemy number one. Okay? And this, hold on. We have to understand that he is a celebrity and that he has an entourage that also have entourages. And sometimes, and again,
Yeah.
He had how many people at his house? Sometimes he may not even know who's in his house. Now, he is to blame, but there are people that will take advantage of him to gain personal interest.
I'm not saying he's guilty of a crime here. What I'm saying is he's blaming the police now.
No, that was irresponsible.
I mean, it's so dumb.
That was irresponsible.
I mean, this woman calls, we heard her, right? Whether she's telling the truth or not is a separate question.
Right.
But she made this complaint, and then Chris Brown makes this about the police who show up at his house.
That's right. He chooses to attack them in a very public way to all of his Twitter followers and whoever else is out there on social media. He's attacking the people who are going to come in and investigate this case. And so far, it's a he said, she said, but now he just made it like he's attacking them. They're, of course, going to say, what are you doing this for?
And you can understand why he's had, why he isn't so happy with the police, right? I mean, his rap sheet can't even fit on one page. I actually asked the producers to put for me together a full screen of all of his legal trouble, and they said, you know what, Dan, we can't put it on one page. So here it's in my hand. I've got the 2 pages and the tiny little type of all the problems he's had. We did create this one, which is basically the assault on Rihanna, sentenced to 5 years probation and community service, investigated for allegedly punching a guy outside a recording studio. I think that might have been Frank Ocean, they thought it was. Charged with hit and run, driving without a license, later dropped. Charged with felony assault for altercation outside a D.C. hotel. Voluntarily enters rehab, then kicked out of rehab for smashing his mother's car window. Taken into custody by the L.A. County Sheriffs for a probation violation. Admits to probation violation, sentenced to a year in jail, gets credit for time served.
He should be in jail. I have to disagree with what you said. And I have to, yes, innocent until proven guilty. And it feels like when you were talking about him being a celebrity, that I think because he's a celebrity, that is why he is not in jail. This man is dangerous. Right. It feels like he is in a drug-fueled manic episode. When I see him on social media, I think he's a dangerous
he hasn't done anything yet that we know of.
Exactly.
I mean, this has to be investigated. They have to get witness statements. They have to see if there's a gun in the car. You can't just immediately, based on one report, throw him in jail.
You just read an entire rap sheet. He's automatically thinking to himself, they automatically think I did this. So, of course, he's being defensive. Now, was it smart for him to go onto social media and say F the police? Absolutely not. I don't blame him for not wanting to talk to the police because I would want him to wait for his attorney. Mark Garrigos then came to the home, and that is when you saw a more calm Chris Brown and one that was cooperative.
Speaking of calm, let's show calm. This is the calm Chris Brown. He thought the police are harassing him. Here's another piece of his calm, collected recollection description on Instagram.
When I call the police for stalker people that are endangering my life, they don't come to the next day. Let somebody make a allegation about me, and oh yeah, the whole SWAT team. I'm innocent. Everybody. I'm tired of hearing this. What I do care about is y'all defacing my name as a person and my character and integrity. I am a father. I am one of the best entertainers out here without bragging and trying to say, woe is me, I don't get enough credit. And all y'all know I'm your daddy. So at the end of the day, I'm tired of this. I'm up at 6, it's 7 something in the morning, talking this for something I ain't do. How would you feel?
What?
Yeah, well,
I get it. He's not taking responsibility. He's not taking accountability.
But I'll tell you this, Dan, that actually could be the exhibit #1 for the prosecution because the reporting victim said, the alleged victim at this point, that it appeared he was under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Well, look at that videotape. That's a good explanation of what he's doing.
Pat, you wanted to weigh in. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, a couple of things, just very quickly. He allegedly threw out a duffel bag that had weapons and drugs. We'll wait to see how that plays out. But that could spell big trouble for him. But what's astonishing to me when we talk about that rap sheet, just the law of averages would tell you, why has he not paid a greater price for all the drugs? I know guilty until proven innocent. But this man has a history of problems, but we live in a society now in celebrity where he's almost adored for being this kind of a bad boy. But my prediction is he's going to self-destruct.
All right, now remember, he's also in a custody battle with the mother of his 2-year-old daughter, Royalty. Child's mother wanted Brown to have supervised visits, submit to drug testing. The judge said no. Now her lawyer claims the little girl was present during today's incident. Brown's lawyer absolutely denies that and says that that's actually just factually inaccurate. But can anything that happened today impact, let's assume the girl wasn't there, can anything that happened today, Lonnie, impact the custody suit?
Sure. I'm sure that the mother will take that videotape and say, look, it looks like he's under the influence of drugs or alcohol. He has an issue. It's not safe for my child to be with him. I mean, remember, everything you do when you're a celebrity, you put it out there, but that can be used against you in court.
Yeah.
And from a safety point of view, this is somebody who has either an untreated addiction or untreated bipolar disorder or another disease which he should not be taking care of his child. He has a history of violence. He's, when you look at his rap sheet, I know that the two of you are lawyers, but I really don't think that it's safe for him to be.
So we're hoping to get Mark Garagos, Chris Brown's lawyer, on the phone. He's here with us, Mark Garagos. Good to have you. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. So you've just been at the house there. What's going on? Do we have Mark? No. All right. Well, we're going to get him back in a minute. But so if I'm right, it sounds like the police arrived to question him, right? He's not legally obligated to answer those questions.
No,
right?
it's not.
So why is that a standoff with the police?
Well, because they wanted him to cooperate and he didn't cooperate. So then they want to come in and he says, no, go get a search warrant. So at that point, they're standing outside his house waiting to get that search warrant. So that's considered a standoff. There's no, like, guns drawn. It's not like that. But I'll tell you, here's the issue with Chris Brown. He just doesn't follow anybody. When a judge gives him rules, he doesn't follow that. That's why he has such a long probationary rap sheet, because he kept violating that probation. Everything the judge told him to do, he doesn't do it. So maybe he has guns in his house when he's not supposed to have guns in his house. There could be a lot of things that are going on, and that's what people kind of assume, because he never seems to be able to follow the rules when they're applied to him.
All right, Mark Garagos, are you there with us?
I am. How are you?
Hello, Mark. Good to hear from you. So you've just been at the house. What's going on there? I'm
still here. They're doing a search. And hi, Dan. How are you, by the way?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
So they're continuing the search there, and we have, just to bring you up to date, we've played the sound of this woman who's made this allegation against Chris Brown. What is your client's position on that?
My client's position is that we're cooperating. There's no truth to it, and we're going to let it play out.
Why did he allow this to become a kind of spectacle? I mean, he goes on Instagram ranting against the police. I've got to believe if he gave you a call before he went on Instagram, you would have said, you know what, this probably isn't such a good idea.
I try to stay out of the crisis PR management business and try to concentrate on the legal defense.
But, as you can imagine, we were just talking about the custody aspect of this, right? I mean, I would assume that his ex is now going to use this rant on Instagram against him.
Well, last time I looked, you still have a First Amendment, so I don't think that's, I don't think anybody would say that necessarily means that he's not fit. In fact, it's been quite the opposite. So I don't think that's going to play out or be a problem. Obviously, I want to deal with what I'm dealing with, which is the search right now and the allegations that have been made, and I'm pretty confident that we'll end up in a good place.
And why is he blaming the police, though? So the police get called to come there based on this woman's report, and he then blames it all on the police.
Well, if you knew anything about the history here, and I think part of his frustration is he's been the victim of repeated stalkers and people who've broken into the house and everything else. So I think there's a great deal of frustration because of that, and that the response and the protection has been a problem. So I understand it. I feel his pain, to quote our former president, but that's hardly my first and foremost issue right now.
But he has also been a repeat visitor with the cops on the other side as well.
Well, as I like to point out, I think in 95% of those incidents, it's turned out that there was no there. So, unfortunately, in today's society, that's one of the downsides of fame or infamy.
Yeah, I mean, he was convicted, served, there's probation, there's time, et cetera. But
right, which he successfully completed and was terminated early, and all of the other things, with the exception of the one D.C. thing, ended up being a misdemeanor with no probation, no fine, no restitution, and that was resolved as well. So, I mean, he's not the first guy who, between the ages of 18 and 25, has a couple of run-ins with the law.
Yeah, but all right, but his have been significantly worse than most young people.
Not really. I mean, you guys go sit down in Department 30 here, Dan, in the criminal courts building, and tell me that one felony and one misdemeanor is unusual for somebody in his age group. That's not the. That's not going to be breaking news.
At the criminal court building, maybe that's the case, but in the community at large. Right, let me take a quick break.
I don't know.
I'll come back to you, Mark.
I don't know that that's the case, but
I can't come back to you. Okay, all right. I gotta thank you. I'm out of time. I'm told I gotta go.
Hard out. Thanks, Dan.
I'm the guest host, so I do what I can. Mark, thanks a lot for coming on. Appreciate it.
Okay. Bye bye.
We're gonna take a break. Be right back after this.